Because guess what? It's Friday,
Yep.
Na kama kawaida, when it's Friday, it's time for CRB 101. Kama kawaida, this is Alan here.
And this is Victor Oweru, Customer Service.
Yeah.
Welcome once again to this week's forum.
Karibuni sana. Now you remember, I think 2 weeks ago, we took you through a credit report and the components of a credit report. So today we want to talk about credit information providers.
Correct.
CIPs. So when you get your credit report, on the second page, there's always a log, and you see the types of institutions that you've borrowed with. You can see there are banks, MFB, SACCOs, MFIs, insurance, and all those. Correct. So today we just want to break down this information for you so that you can be able to understand it better.
Correct. Basically, from the word itself, you can actually get the definition.
Yeah.
Credit information providers. These are institutions who have been mandated by regulators, either the Central Bank of Kenya, either the SACCOs, Society Regulatory Authority, or kuna ingine inaitwa KUSCO, Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives. Yeah. So these are the regulators, and these institutions have been mandated by these regulators to share information with the CRB.
Yeah, because basically, you already know that CRB shares information.
Correct.
So these are the people we share information with. And the information we share basically is if you are an active lender, then we share your information between these CIPs and CRBs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, from that definition, actually, we can demystify one popular saying by most of our customers, that CRB mekulist. From that definition itself, you need to understand that we do not list you ourselves. We basically receive information from these institutions. Wanatuambia, so and so has taken a loan this particular date of this amount and is supposed to pay by this date. So your date ikishapita, the same institution inatuambia so and so was supposed to pay this loan by this date, na amepita by 1 day, by 1 week, by 1 month, by 3 months. So proceed to negatively list them.
So something to note is that only CBK regulated information providers share information with us, not any other. All right. So today we just want to look at types of CIPs,
correct,
credit information providers, and we'll walk you through all these types, pole, give you examples, so you get to understand, so that the next time you're interacting with us, you have better knowledge of what's going on. All right.
Correct.
So one of those is banks.
Yes.
Okay. So banks wanna share information na sisi, and say, for example, you borrow a loan with KCB or NCBA or cooperative or equity. What happens is they share that information with us. They will tell us, for example, Victor has borrowed, and so he's supposed to pay within, say, 12 months.
Correct.
So we have that information on your credit report, and as Victor keeps paying his loan, we get information to update your credit report.
Correct.
Okay, so some examples of bank loans may include
various
credit cards, overdraft, business loans, and all that. But something that nimeona wewe ina confuse customers kidogo, ni there are mobile loans that are categorized under banks.
Kweli, true.
So sometimes umepata credit report yako, alafu unaona you're listed with, say, for example, NCBA.
Yes.
And you're wondering, I have never gotten a facility with NCBA. I'm not a member of NCBA. So unatupigia, umekasirika, unashangaa kwa nini NCBA wanashare information yangu. For example, when you want to get who has shared your data with us, na tunakutumia ile SMS, tunasema positively listed by, say, for example, NCBA and stuff like that, and you're wondering, hey, I have never interacted with NCBA in my entire life, So there are mobile loans which are provided by banks.
Correct.
And I've just given an example of NCBA. So NCBA wanapeana loans kama Mshwari, Fuliza. So whenever you get your report and you see that you are negatively or positively listed by NCBA and you've never interacted with them, if you've been borrowing Mshwari or Fuliza, then that is what it means.
Kweli.
And ABSA pia wanapeana Timiza loans. Kama unachukonga KCB M-Pesa ama salary advance, those categorized under bank loans on your credit report. So that is something to note. That is something that you need to know. Do you have something you want to add, Bwana Victor?
I think that is all. Those are the major players in the CIS. Remember, tulitaja CIS, Credit Information Sharing Mechanism. So banks are the major players of this mechanism. Yeah. So the second one, kuna wengine wanaitwa MFBs. Utapata kwa report yako imeandikwa MFBs, unashangaa what are MFBs. These basically are what we call microfinance banks. Yes, these are also types of CIPs. Unaweza kuwa, let me give an example of maybe Faulu. Unaweza kuwa umeingia Faulu, umechukua loan yako, then wanatumia information, wanasema so and so has taken a loan with us. Kuna Kenya Women Finance Trust, kuna Uwezo, kuna Rafiki. So all these, as much as they are not banks, but they are classified as microfinance banks. And they also do share information with us. Kwa hivyo pia wao ukichelewesha mkopo wao, unfortunately utajipata uko negatively listed na sisi.
And just from the name, micro ni kitu kidogo. So hizi ni banks ndogo, smaller banks. And then there's MFIs, which are also microfinance institutions. Now there's a thin line between MFBs and MFIs. So, but just like MFIs also provide credit. But though our wanapeana loans ndogo, smaller loans than MFBs. MFBs need like banks, but just smaller. So MFIs provide small loans and stuff like that. So you get that most of the time, over time, MFIs grow to be MFBs. That is when they meet the banking regulations. So what is the MFBs ukiziangalia, most of them were MFIs when they started, but then now they grew to be microfinance banks. So they are more or less the same, just that MFIs gives smaller loans. You know,
So then we have the fourth type of credit information providers, and these are called SACCOs. So I think it was last week, one of our colleagues mentioned, they actually delved deeper into the definition of SACCOs, whereby there's those that they are what we call deposit-taking SACCOs and all that. So all this, basically the first type of SACCOs that we get information from are ones that are regulated by SASRA. Inaitwa SASRA, hiyo ni regulator, ni kama CBK ya SACCOs sasa. Inaitwa SACCOs, Society Regulatory Authority. So they also share information with us. Basically, what I can give example is kama Mwalimu Sacco, we have Police Sacco, we have Mini Sacco. So if you have a facility with a Sacco that's closed down and you pay, you know, ini kama there's this major concern with SACCOs. Unapata kulikuwa na Sacco, nimechukua loan, but unfortunately nime default. So maybe years later when now I'm comfortable with paying it back, napata ile Sacco imefungwa. We've had so many cases, such cases. And kusema ukweli inasumbua kidogo. So we would like to advise people that if you have such a scenario na uko tayari kulipa loan, if you remember the payment method, go ahead and make the payment. Then sasa kuna hiyo part ya ku-update. If you want it to be updated, you can go to the regulatory authority of such a bank, or sorry, such a SACCO. Kama ni SASRA, kama ni hiyo nimetaja hapo awali KUSCO, and waambie I'm looking for contacts for such a SACCO. They normally have all those contacts. So they should be able to give you a contact. You contact them, waambie nimelipa loan yenyu na nahitaji update ya CRB. In the rare cases whereby that does not offer much assistance, there is also the second route, which has take time, but it also helps. You can just come forward, file a dispute. So I think we mentioned earlier dispute process. So such a SACCO kama imekuwa iko closed, una file dispute, sisi tunawakommunikatia. We communicate to them, we tell them customer so and so is claiming that he's already paid the loan na haija updateiwa. So chances are two, either the SACCO replies and gives us the go ahead to update your record, ama they do not reply. So if any institution, in case of a dispute, we send them a dispute and they fail to respond to us within 1 week. Ikipita 1 week na hawajatujibu, we proceed to delete that information from the report.
Yeah.
So wewe ukilipa na sako yako imefungwa, unajaribu kucontact wale directors wale walikuwa na kuhudumia kwa hiyo sako na umeshindwa, umefika mwisho, just come to us, call us, file a dispute with us, we'll follow up with them. If they give us the go ahead, we'll update it. If they fail to respond to us, we shall proceed and delete that information.
Yeah, that is some very in-depth information, Victor. Thanks. Something that I just wanted to add real quick is that there are so many circles in Kenya, so many circles. But as we had said earlier, we do not have information about all these oral circles.
Kweli.
The only information we have is from SASRA regulated circles.
Yes.
So unaweza kulichukua loan na a different circle which is not SASRA regulated, and when you check on your report you're wondering how comes this information is not on my report.
Really?
The only information that is stored in your report is from a SASRA regulated circle. And as Victor was saying earlier, there are like two types of circles, which are non-deposit taking circle. Non-deposit basically means that you don't have to be depositing anything every month or any other time. But what happens in such circles is circles that you buy shares.
Really?
Or you just buy shares, you become a member of such a circle. And the thing is, you cannot get back your money unless you are leaving that circle. Now, that is an non-deposit circle. And the other type is deposit-taking circle.
Correct.
So deposit-taking circle basically means that you can be able to contribute. You can buy shares if you want, but you can be contributing from time to time, and you can also be withdrawing whenever you want. Now, you realize that these are the kind of circle that most of the time share information with us, because you can also be able to borrow from them.
Yes.
Take loans, and if you default, they'll definitely share that information with us. So most of the time, deposit-taking circles are the ones that mostly share credit information with us. So
before hata tumalize hiyo point ya circles,
yes.
Kuna wengine pia wanakuja wana raise the issue that they did not take a loan with a certain circle, yet they are listed on CRB.
Yes.
So those you might find what we call guarantors.
Yes.
So if you guarantee someone to take a loan and that person defaults any payment of that particular loan, you may find yourself negatively listed with CRB. So be careful, be watchful who you guarantee, because it has you actually, when you sign that document, you accept liability for that particular loan.
That is true, and I think it's not only for circles, even bank loans. Whenever you guarantee someone and they borrow, if they default, you also find yourself defaulting.
Yes.
So be on the watch. If you guarantee someone, please also just follow up to know that they are paying their loans in good time. So let's talk about fintechs or digital credit providers. And this is a very common method, because most of us, especially the youth, use fintechs a lot. And digital lending is just a type of loan acquisition method that allows individuals to apply and receive loans through online platforms. Hizi ni zile tunachukua na simu. There's an app, you just download an app, you follow the instructions. If you agree with their terms and conditions, you can always get loans. And there are a few or several examples from this. For example, Tala, Branch, Zenka, all those. Now, again, just like circles, not all fintechs share information with us.
Correct.
Okay? You have to be regulated by the CBK to share information.
Yes.
So sometimes you get that you borrow a loan and you pay, and then you call us and you tell us that I borrowed, say for example, I'll just give an example of Zenka. I borrowed a loan with Zenka, nimelipa, I'd like for my report to be updated. So when you call us or reach out to us in any of our platforms, tunakwambia that information is not on your credit report. It basically means that credit provider is not regulated by the CBK, and therefore that information is not on your credit report.
Yes.
So also just to know that there are several, actually so many fintechs in Kenya, but only a few share information with the CRBs, because only a few are regulated by the CBK, even though there are, I know Victor keeps talking about this, that they are not yet
Not yet.
regulated, all right?
Yes.
Because there's conversation going around, and we hope that with time, most of those will get the regulations, all right?
Yeah. And to just to highlight how serious this issue of regulation is, you remember there is a time, I think in 2020, 2021, all these DCPs were locked out of the CIS, the Credit Information Sharing Mechanism, in that everyone who had been listed by these DCPs wengi wametolewa CRB if you had that conversation. So basically what happened, these people just locked out of the CIS. They could not share information with us. They could not tell us blacklist so and so because they have defaulted on a loan, just because they are not regulated. So once they started now adhering to these regulations is when now they are being brought back to the CIS mechanism one by one. Mwenye ana qualify anarudishwa hivyo pole pole. So most of them are not yet regulated, but once they are, hiyo information itarudi kwa CRB report yako. So those are fintechs ama siku hizi tunawaita digital credit providers, DCPs. Then the next category is what we call the DFIs. DFI in full inamaanisha development finance institutions. These are basically institutions which fund development projects. Then you pay back that fund or that finance that they've given you in due course, whichever timeline that you agree on with them. Yes, they are specialized development organizations that are usually majority owned by governments. They invest in private sector projects in low and middle income countries to promote job creation and sustainable economic growth. So maybe umepita mahali mjini umepatana na African Development Bank. That is an example of a DFI. Then we also have International Finance Corporation, IFC. Kuna Asian Development Bank, kuna European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, kuna European Investment Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, then we have the Islamic Development Bank. So basically, they just come fund a project for you, then sasa unawalipa hiyo pesa wamekupatia pole pole. And of course pia ukipita 3 months uja make any payment, they go ahead and they share that information with us to negatively list you kwa credit report yako.
And you find that most of these are not very common. So sometimes these are things that maybe you may or you may not know, but there is one DFI that has been common over the years. I know we were talking with Victor off air, alikuwa ananiambia they are no longer sharing information with us, and I'll just mention that health has been like one of the most common DFIs. That sometimes you get your report and on DFI all accounts probably imeandikwa one app when you want to report this. So most of the time you will health because it's the most common DFI that has been sharing information with us. Yes.
Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on where you stand. On where share information with us. So that is one category of CIP. Then we also have trade institutions. Basically, these are institutions which give services on credit. Wanakufanyia kazi ama wanakupatia services zao on credit, alafu unabaki ukiwalipa pole pole. Request for them. So pia hiyo, depending on the terms and conditions you agree with them, they will share that information. Remember, all these CIPs, as they share this information with us, they are not only sharing negative information. You have to remember that they share full file information, which means they are sharing positive information, negative information. So whichever one of these you engage with, they will share that information. Kama ni positive, mmesikizana mtakuwa mnalipana kila mwezi a certain date, a certain amount. Ukilipa wanakuambia umelipa. So what that does is help grow your credit score. Now I think that will answer one of the frequently asked questions where a customer comes and asks, how can I grow my credit score? Ukiwa na loans some of these kama ni hiyo DFI kama ni hiyo nini trade companies na mmesikizana kila mwezi on a certain date I pay a certain amount. Ukishalipa they share that information with us. Wanasema umelipa, grow your credit score. So pia hiyo inasaidia na ni vizuri, ni vyema ukuwe na unaweza kupelekana na hiyo ya date. So we also, I think this could be the last category about insurance. As Metropole, I think this is where Metropole make ourselves to be market leaders in the information sharing sector. We also take information from insurance companies whereby they share information with us. Kama unalipa, kama unasikizana ama una meet those agreements with them, they share information with us, and it also appears on your credit score, thereby improving your credit rating. Yeah, so so sometimes we call us and like how comes you have the information here, you don't have information. What we'd like for you to know is that we do not just like this is what we have on the
Naamua Alan umenikosea jana leo na kulist.
Yeah, so we definitely get this information from somewhere. You know, and we walk you through, you know, that this information we get from this information, credit information providers, but they also have to be regulated by the CBA, right? So, something else that I wanted to mention is I know sometimes you borrow and like how comes even and you guys have not updated me, or how comes niko na this agreement with this institution but you guys have done ABCD on the report. Okay, and sometimes most of the time some of the process you do your due diligence before you have the information on the credit report.
Yes.
You know, when sometimes yeah, for example, when you information savings, so hawajashare na CRB. Okay, so mi nauliza CRB like how comes amkuniuliza kabla mshare information. The thing is can you imagine if we'd be doing that with the millions of borrowers, like kabla tu share information ya Victor kwa report yake tunampigia kumuuliza Victor niaje ulichukua loan kutoka kwa Fuliza. So just to let you know that we don't do that, and CBK is aware. This is in accordance with CBA regulation. Everything that we do is correct and legal, and so we are not obliged to do such due diligence. Then it is not obliged. Whatever is in your credit report, whatever we share as received from the CIPs. Yes.
When we first defined CRB, we said that we are custodians of information. What we do is to receive information, store information, and share that information. We do not create information. Yes, so sisi tunapokea venye inakuja. So if you feel like whatever is in your report is not what you want it to be or what you thought is, that is where now we give you a platform for a dispute. Yes, na hiyo ni, it's your right as a Kenyan. Whatever you see on your credit information, you have a right to come ask, why is this so and so, or why is it like this? We will go ahead, we will follow up with the CIP the institution that share that information with us, we will need to ask them, certain customer amekuja amesema that this information you shared with us is not correct according to them. Please confirm that you share that information correctly. Yes, so once wakiconfirm kwamba it is accurate, we will retain that information as it is. Wakikubali kwamba it was erroneous, we will remove it from your credit report, or we will expand it from your credit report. Yes, so basically we are just custodians of information. We do not create any information. We receive information from the various categories of institutions that we have mentioned today. Yes.
Yes, I think that is now like very clear, and you already know that we do not have the mandate to reach out to each and every borrower to confirm if the information that was shared with us is accurate. The good thing, as Victor was explaining, is that we bridge that gap out, because these mistakes happen every single time, from time to time. And we are also just here to make sure that the information on your credit report is accurate. So whenever you feel like it's not accurate, or something is in there that is not supposed to be, or it's shared wrongfully, as Victor was explaining, we have a very able dispute office that will make sure that this is corrected and we have the correct information in the report. So never shy away from raising these concerns. So we look into them and help you so that you have a healthy credit history, right? Yeah, I think tumeongelea
zote.
Yeah.
This is where now we go back to our social media platforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please engage us.
I think it Jibu anasema I was listed. This is Edward Moindi. Anasema I was listed, but even after clearing, I still remain listed. Kwani hamutaki watu wazuri. That is his exact words.
Yeah.
I'm just reading as it is.
Yeah.
Yes, that is from Edward Moindi.
Yeah, so maybe Edward Kama probably he joined after we mentioned that. We'll just answer him again. Now, once you pay your loan, you're sure that you paid it to completion. Most of the time, it takes between 2 working days before we receive the information from your credit provider to update that information. Now, sometimes it takes longer. Right now,
Actually, that is a point.
yes.
Of all these CIPs that we've talked about, they are all mandated to share information, and they share this information differently. Some, especially mobile loans, sure, M-Pesa. Once you make a payment, you find that that account is updated after 2 working days. That means leo ni Friday, nikilipa leo, by Monday, Tuesday, hizo ndio siku za kazi. Monday, Tuesday, by Tuesday itakuwa updated. Nikilipa loan Wednesday, by Friday inakuwa iko updated. But then we also have these other credit providers wale wanapatiana mikopo kubwa kama sasa asset finance loan ama hizo basically hizi loans kubwa. So once you clear that payment, you may find some institutions will wait up to the end of the month. They will compile information ya mwezi mzima. Kama sasa tuko August. In fact, it's good to mention that now leo ni tarehe 11. Kawaida around the 10th we are receiving or we are updating information on the base last month. Some lenders information yetu ya July walituma early week. So unapata by the 10th of every month is when we are now updating that information on our database. So ukilipa mkopo uone kwamba imekaa, fuatilia, utapata kwamba wamesha update ama wanakuambia wata update the end of the month. So that is good to note. Usifikirie kwamba umesahauliwa, hapana, itaupdateiwa na itaupdateiwa kikamilifu. Yes.
So I just wanted to add that it takes longer than as explained. Then you can reach out to the institution, ask them for a batch number.
Yes.
When you get that batch number, you can use any of our platforms to share the number with us, and we will update your account. If the batch number is correct and accurate, we will update your account within 48 hours.
Yes.
Do you have any other question, Richard?
We do have another question.
Yes.
Actually, most of these now maybe Some of our customers have requested our services via our various platforms, USSD, Instable app, na mnaona kwamba naona mtu anasema amelipa na imefikia. Please remember we have a contact center number. We are very prompt to answer your calls. We've mentioned this before. We will not fail to mention it again. It's 0709 834 000. Pata umelipia service yoyote na imepita dakika 5 hujapata feedback, please go ahead and call us. We do not hesitate to offer you assistance to our call center. Kwa WhatsApp 0704 ama 0705 723 666. Let me clarify that, 0704 723 666 ama 0705 723 666. Please send us a message kwa WhatsApp, sema umelipia so and so. Forward us the M-Pesa message, then we will be able to complete that request that you have made.
Yeah, but you can also use our social media platforms live on Facebook as we speak. Yes. You can always leave your comments, leave your questions there, and make a payment and the services will be generated. You can always just box us in the number. And also on Twitter, CRB, and you can always make sure that all these things, all these answers get to you. You can also write us an email. Our official email address is info@metro.co.ke. All your requests. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that is all for the daily kwa fupi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think tunafaa kuintroduce segment ya kutupigia live on air so that we can extend.
No,
Yeah.
but I think you're completely very educating. So we're grateful for those of you who shared the questions and asked questions. You can always ask questions because we are, we are available and available to any kind of help that you need.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we also mentioned our physical presence for those in Nairobi, tuko hapa KCB Towers, 14th floor. Je, utatupata hapo, na pia pale town along Loiter Street there is a building called Pension Towers. Hapo utapata hapo 7th floor, tuko tayari kukuhudumia swali lako yote. Unataka CRB certificate, umeitiwa kadok mahali, unataka kuwa mbele ya watu wengine na requirements, unataka kujua status yako, report yako, all those we are ready to serve you. Ofisi zinafunguliwa Monday to Friday from 8 am to 5 pm, then Saturday kutoka saa 2 asubuhi mpaka saa 6 mchana. Yes.
So I guess until next time.
Till next week.
Next time is next week, Friday, same place, that is on our official Facebook page.
Right.
We'll see you again, just answering your questions and also enlightening you on CRB and CRB services. Yes. I have been your host, Alan.
And co-host Victor. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend ahead.
Jay again.